we have seen over time that the National Unity Platform enjoys drama quite a lot, and probably it's part of their strategy to do their political communication. A case of a missing person is a very serious matter.
Nawambiwa yala kaksa kukasa tangabi mpite omukulu ya chikidi state civil. Nawambiwa nga 14 January banamaje aba SFC
Sebo genda kwogera mpola mpola. The man was abducted and you'd be like, oh, you don't have to be slow.
January sawa nga 8 wakati ukivyo kulonda entinda bali banamaje nga bambadde ebyambalo by'amaje nga basuka 8.
And yes, indeed, presenting to you from these United States of the America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're watching me and at whatever time you might watch this conversation. My name is Mordecai Murisa, and you're welcome to Mordecai Murisa Live. Now, if you're just finding out, I might as well say breaking news. Yes, if you're just finding out, this I'm going to be telling you right here. I might as well say breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you all know we've been in search for the deputy presidents of the National Unity Platform that were abducted before, during, after the 2026 elections. And after the government denied about their whereabouts, now they're coming out to arraign them in the courts of law and read charges for them. And listen here. I'll read you one. This a post from David Louis Lubongoya, the Secretary General to the National Unity Platform. Deputy President Lina Zedriga also produced before a court in Gulu, charged with incitement to violence after 3 weeks of incommunicado detention. Free Uganda now. Then you go down here. It is 3 weeks after she was abducted, and after the state filed an affidavit saying they do not have her in their custody. National Unity Platform Deputy President Jackline Tukamushaba is being produced before a court in Kabale, charged with incitement to violence. Everyone who knows her knows that this is a bogus charge. She has never told anyone to attack supporters of NRM. Meanwhile, this charge sheet was produced in court as our legal team went for the habeas corpus ruling. Anyhow, this is why Uganda is Deputy President Zedriga and our comrade Sebufu John Mary are still missing. This crisis is bound to persist until the people of Uganda get to that point and say, enough. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Then you have reporting from about John Mary Sebufu is right here 3 weeks after. Unbelievable. Now, ladies and gentlemen, where am I here? I'm here to expose gutter journalism relay that has been presented as journalism to the Ugandan people. Silence, 100% silence presented as journalism, disguising as journalism in Uganda. And this was done by NBS TV, my former workplace. I should say this, I should be very clear. I'm not personally attacking NBS. Like I've said, it gave me an opportunity. When I was still chasing my childhood dreams, NBS, just like Record Television Uganda and Subi FM, they gave me an opportunity. But that doesn't that doesn't mean that they're immune from my criticism. And I will criticize them where they deserve criticism. And I'll give them their flowers when they do deserve flowers. There's been several times when I've made my commentaries about the wonderful reporting from Kanare Mugume and Shamimu Nabakuza, former colleagues of mine. But when they fail as an institution, I have to be like, what are you doing? And I'm going to show you here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go on and watch this story. And then this is what NBS was able to come up with yesterday regarding these people. Watch this story. Unbelievable. Poor levels of professionalism. Watch.
Western Uganda, who allegedly went missing on the 14th of January 2025, a day to elections. The same ordeal befell the Deputy President of Northern Uganda, Dr. Lina Zedriga, whose whereabouts are unknown. The NUP has since filed for habeas corpus to courts continuing their demand. Today, the Lugbar Kari Cultural Institution leaders expressed concern over the continued unknown whereabouts of Dr. Lina Zedriga. These are demanding for unconditional release and accountability of their daughter.
About the first
Now, this is the Lugbar Council, or the elders, asking about the whereabouts of Dr. Lina Zedriga. NBS is pretty much telling you, hey, we're not making any investigations, we're relaying what has been said. Listen here.
abduction and disappearance of the trace of our daughter, Dr. Lina Zedriga. Period of Dr. Lina Zedriga's disappearance has superseded the cultural tolerable search.
For them, it's becoming uncomfortable as they count 2 other sons whom they say have left the society with cold feet.
We therefore appeal to the government arms responsible for protection of all citizens to take full responsibility to find our daughter, Dr. Lina Zedriga, dead or alive.
And whatever is happening, we are not happy with the government.
While their demands pile on to the constant demands by the National Unity Platform, the UPDF Acting Defence Public Information Officer, however, says the National Unity Platform demands and allegations on the missing party members are a wave of drama, questioning whether they have reported to security authorities.
We demand, number one, the stop.
Again, this is really, we've not seen any bit of investigation at all in this report. They're telling us what the Lugbar cultural heads are saying. Now, what the NUP is saying, let's go after here. They're going to show you what the UPDF is saying.
Of abductions. And we are demanding the release of all those who have been abducted.
We have seen over time that the National Unity Platform enjoys drama quite a lot, and probably it's part of their strategy to do their political communication. A case of a missing person is a very serious matter. I've noted compared notes with my counterparts in the Uganda Police Force.
The military states that anybody who commits a crime or is suspected can be arrested for investigation purposes. Colonel Magyezi indicates that no one is above the law and that he is not aware of any investigations sanctioned particularly for National Unity Platform.
But up to this point, I'm not aware whether the National Unity Platform or the relatives of the said individuals have filed any case of missing persons to the authorities, in particular the Uganda Police Force. What we have been seeing are political statements by NUP leaders in Kampala without providing any evidence.
The NUP has insisted that over 3,000 party members are in police custody.
And now this is manufacturing consent. Listen to the conclusion of this story and look at what they're showing you. They're showing you an altercation between Olivia Lutaya and these prisons officers. And that's the story. Done. This is extremely wrong. Like that gentleman said, that Chris Masiru guy, it was Chris Magyezi, said this is a serious matter. But then he says, tell the NUP to stop the drama. What NBS did was relaying, regurgitating the official, the government, his position. That's not journalism. That is a little bit of being an accomplice in the breaking of the law. Journalism is supposed to hold accountable these folks. They don't just tell you what to say and you be like, oh, this is what they've said. Journalism is analysis. It is investigation. It is digging deeper. You betrayed the Ugandan people in this particular report. When you have Chris Magyezi saying, hey, what we found out is NUP enjoys engaging in drama. But then he says, this is a very serious case. NBS should be able to tell its viewers that we had almost the same case a few months ago when 2 Kenyan activists were abducted in Uganda, Bob Njaji and Nicholas Oyo. The military released a statement, the police and everyone says, we do not have them. We've checked all our torture chambers and detention facilities, they're nowhere to be seen. That was the official government position. Only for Museveni to come out a few days after and said, hey, we've been keeping them in a fridge. And they should be able to revisit those kind of statements. Journalism is about cynicism and skepticism. It is not just regurgitating what the government is saying. This complete betrayal of the Ugandan people. When people are being abducted, and all you've got to say, hey, the UPDF has said, UP should stop the drama. The drama is when you present stenography as journalism. This is complete transcribing. Oh, this is what the UPDF has said. This is what you pretty much did in this report. Oh, the Rugbara community has said this. NUP has said this. And then UPDF has said this. Everyone can do that. Even a primary 7 kid can do that. But with an institution like Next Media Services, with all the resources at their disposal, that's the best report they can come up with about the abduction of the deputy presidents of the leading opposition political party. It is unbelievable. Now, you might be wondering, and you know, there's so many things they would actually use in this particular moment. Look here. This is the abduction of Jackline Tukamushaba. They could have used this footage. It is on social media. It is spread everywhere. They have contacts of the daughter of Jackline Tukamushaba. People who witnessed the abduction of Lina Zedriga, they won't go to them. That's Jolly Jackline Tukamushaba, sorry. This is when she was being ordered. You see soldiers ordering her to enter this van, commonly referred to as a drone in the Ugandan political context. If the acting spokesperson of the military, Chris Magyezi, or Magyezi, Masid, whatever, is going to come out and say, look, NUP enjoys drama. How about you present them with this? You be like, there's footage out there of military officers ordering the deputy president for the National Unity Platform for Western Uganda to enter a van. There's footage out there. The family has spoken out. They won't do that. Why won't you ask these questions, NBS? Now, like I should again say this, because it is very easy for somebody who is watching out there be like, hey, Mordecai, you hate NBS. Absolutely not. Matter of fact, the person who did that report, Shamim Nabakoza, is a personal friend. At least that's what I think. Go. You know, I don't have any personal vendetta against anybody at NBS or any media house, not even any person. Like I said, I was at that place. I was a producer. I was a news anchor. I was a reporter in that newsroom. And I remember some of the conversations we had in the newsroom during the newsroom meetings, chaired by the likes of Dalton Kawesa, Mama Goretti, Chisitu, and others who told us that you have to dig deeper. Journalism, when they send you in the field, they're not telling you to go out and collect these voices of different people. This is what they said. Let me show you a little bit of what I mean by journalism. At least I was able to show you that video. This is what I mean. This is journalism 2.0.
I agree with you. So I know it's a challenge, but we are internally handling it.
You know that it's a challenge, and you sit in cabinet.
Yes.
Have you raised this issue in cabinet, and have you weighed in on that very issue that you've said, reckless use of social media?
Yes, we have discussed it. I have discussed it with the president.
This is asking Chris Balyomus about the reckless tweets from the commander of the Defense Forces, Mhozikene Rugaba. Push them to the wall. Hold them to account.
On the one-to-one, and I have brought regulations in cabinet on communication. I am even procuring technology that is going to help us filter communications on social media in Uganda. So there is a lot of work we are doing. And my point has been, we must use social media responsibly. So that
just to be clear, Chris, you brought to the attention of the president the character of communication of the CDF on Twitter.
Going back to the question, as he continues to meander around and introduce new unrelated topics, go back, ask that question again. Don't let him get away with murder. That is journalism.
To his attention, you've spoken to him about it. Yesterday you were in Capital Gang and you mentioned that you've brought this issue to him.
Yes, I have.
Could you tell us a little bit more?
No, I will not go back to some of these are internal discussions within
as
government.
He lies, as he deflects, you continue digging deeper. Stick to that question.
We have what we call the need to know principle. I speak for government, but I don't have to say any.
Journalism, even when you look at him, your face can tell that you're looking at a charlatan.
Everything that we do within. So those contradictions within our system, we are handling them so that we harmonize the communication. I agree that when you start getting contradicting information from the same government, it confuses the public. People wonder, whom do we listen to? But we are using our own internal mechanisms to harmonize ourselves so that we have one language, one message we give the public. That's the challenge of being a government spokesperson. It's not a flowery job, but we have to do it. We have to do it. And those challenges not
you find yourself in a very delicate position, Chris, of having to answer these questions.
But I am able to navigate through.
Well, I hope so, because you see, the people who are in the CDF's camp already have attacked you. David Kabanda.
Now he goes on to name names, talking about Muhoozi Kainerugaba, while Chris Baryomunsi evades mentioning the name of Muhoozi Kainerugaba. And he was able, the moment they brought in Kabanda, that's when he was able to show this warrior persona. So, my disappointment to the NBS, let me show you here another report that came in today regarding John Mary Sebuf, who was abducted as well. This is what he had to say in the courts of law today. Listen here.
Nawambibwa njala kakisa kukasa twagabe mpulidde omukulu yakiikidde state civil nawambibwa nga 14 January bannamagye aba SFC
Sebo ogenda kwogera mpola mpola. The man was abducted and you'd be like, oh, you're gonna have to be slow.
January sawa nga 8 wakati w'ebyokulonda enkinda baali bannamagye nga bambadde ebyambalo by'amagye nga basukka 8 ne bankasuka mu mmotoka drone era n'empale yayibika wano singa gikola lukusi bonna n'emiyitibwa ku maaso okutuusa lwe bantuusa yenategeera oluvannyuma nti ye safe house era banzijeyo ku makya ga leero era nga bagisse tebandiba ku Jinja Road Police Station n'olwekyo ebikala byogeddwa kikidde state bya bulimba ebitali founded in any way. Whoever taking their state, they should always learn to say the truth and nothing else but the truth. The rest of the court can take his decision.
Well, I think you get here the gist. I was trying to go back to this book, which you really need to read. Will the last reporter please turn out the lights? The collapse of journalism and what can be done to fix it. It is really sad that folks who pretty much inspired us to pursue journalism as careers pretty much left the newsroom. And as a result of that, what you see is these kind of reports being made. No questions asked, no analysis, no digging deeper. It is just relaying, regurgitating the lies of the government, echoing like the state dismissal of these enforced disappearances. Now, if NBS, if that's what NBS is going to give you regarding the disappearances, the abduction and disappearances of prominent leaders within an official political party in Uganda, what are they going to do about those that are not prominent? Those whose names do not appear on the front pages of newspapers. Will they ever report, do any sort of report? Zero. They will never see justice. And look, it is very easy to look at what I'm doing here and be like, hey, Mordecai, you want these folks to support NUP? Absolutely not. I don't want to be activists. I know that's, leave it for me. But you know, that was complete betrayal of the Ugandan people. That wasn't a report. That was gutter journalism, high school vibes. That's what I used to do when I was in high school. I remember my high school teacher, Mr. Chimuli Patrick and Senkumbaisa, really enjoyed my journalism in school. That's what I used to do. Okay, report about coupling in school. Then I will go to, this is what the teacher said. We went to the disciplinary committee and this is what they had to say. The headmister or the headmistress or headmaster said so and so. And then I would come and anchor news on the assembly of London High School in Kaboa. And the kids would be like, yeah, this is what I'm seeing with a gigantic conglomerate like Next Media Services. Oh, this is what this man said. This is what this man said. And this is what man this said. For NBS TV, I am Mordecai Murisa. No. No. Go beyond. Oh, no. Okay, I know this. It's going to be, folks at the NBS are going to watch this. They're going to be laughing at me. Mordecai, why don't you come back and do this? I know one of them is going to be Samson Kasumba. Mordecai, why don't you come back to Uganda and do what you're asking us to do? Okay. Is that the defense you have for mediocrity? Tokubyenyo. My name is Mordecai Murisa. Please, again, like I said, this is not a personal attack on NBS TV. Absolutely not. They gave me an opportunity. I enjoyed myself. I was handsomely paid when I was at that media house. But that was punching below the belt. In as far as journalistic professionalism is concerned, it was a child's play, kindergarten reporting, gutter journalism 2.0. And we can always do better. All right. I'll see you when you see me. For now, bye-bye.